tell y'all? You tuning into the best morning show on the globe. It's Brad and Emery in the morning, y'all. LeBron or Jordan, either one when I'm performing. Crossover, buzzer beater and I'm scoring. Radham and Emery in the morning. Every play they on it. Every day I'm balling. Who's the coach? Who's the GOAT? Like Brady and Belichick, best show on the globe. And they embellish it. Y'all paying Ziffy. I'm Ken Griffey or maybe Mahomes. I stay in the zone, whether man to man or play in the zone. They can't stop me. Mayweather boxing. Curry with the shot, man. We just the best to be. Can we have our SP, please? This was meant to be. Every morning with Radham and Emery.
Yes, sir. You know the vibes. Brad and Emery in the morning. Marques, Bradham, Justin, Emery.
Yo, yo.
On this special Wednesday. As you know, a lot of you know out there, it's a big day for our country. And it's one of the reasons why we're having a abbreviated show is so we can all settle in and just do a woosah and watch this all take place. But I want to talk about Bow Wow for a minute.
Okay.
I know.
Right? Like Lil Bow Wow, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, Bow Wow. So Bow Wow was in Houston this past weekend, and he had like a full concert. Like we're talking like lots of people, which is a huge no-no in the landscape we live in now.
Who's going to a Bow Wow concert?
We're so here's the deal.
That's what we were explaining. Okay.
I was confused. Like, okay, so. I know people are pent up and everyone wants to get out and do their thing, but I get it. But, like, are you really wanting to risk your life to see Bow Wow? I mean, that's just not who I'm risking my life to see. It is weird, too, because, like, this concert happened, and it was packed. And everyone was, like, commenting on social media, like, yo, what is going – is this from 3-4 years ago? What is this? Then – the mayor afterwards comes out and condemns the concert. Like, you didn't know this was taking place in your city? Like, you had no idea Bow Wow was coming through to perform? And now you're upset about it? Like, but I had a question out of this for you. So, obviously, I think we're both in agreement that Bow Wow is not someone risking her life to go see.
This reminds me a lot of the people that were going to the Fire Festival to see, what was it, Blink 182? Is that who was going to be there?
At Ja Rule's thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like everyone from like 2001.
Yeah, this has a lot of the same vibe.
Energy. Yeah,
yeah. You know, like I'm not going to
It was a lot. And another thing too about this, it was a lot of dudes there. Like, listen, I'm not gonna dispute Bow Wow's impact on a certain amount of people. Like, if you were a teenage girl from the years of like 2001, 2002 to 2010, you probably were super into Bow Wow. And most of his music were geared towards that audience. Like Bow Wow was
he was young when he came out.
The Bow Wow, B2K, Omarion, Immature, those type of groups had his own audience. Wasn't me. I was a grown man. Like there's nothing about that was nothing about that movement that appealed to me. But I get and understand that if you were a teenage girl in those years, you probably had some Bow Wow posters on your wall. However, I was super confused to see grown-ass men chilling at the Bow Wow concert in Houston, no mask. Like, that was confusing to me. So I have a question off of this.
What do you think James Harden would have been there if he still played for the Rockets?
I want to say, my mind is telling me no, but my body. Yeah, probably. Yeah, he probably would have been there.
He would have been there.
He would have been there, probably. Maskless, open shirt, the whole thing. My question is this. So Bow Wow's not a guy we risk our lives for. Is there an artist that said, yo, I'm performing right now. I'm performing. The venue's going to be packed. We maskless out here. Is there any artist that you would risk your safety to go see right now?
No, and that is – it's not even really number one, I'm not going anywhere massive right now.
Yeah.
During the pandemic. Right. Number two, I'm not really a concert person.
You're not a concert man?
I mean, I've been to concerts. I've been to big shows, and they've been great.
Yeah.
But I'm not the kind of person who's like, oh, I got to go see this person live. Like, I have very loud speakers at home. I can have a concert at home.
You're an odd cat.
I know.
You're an odd cat.
Like I've been I've seen Jay-Z live. I've seen Eminem live.
Me too.
Like I've seen some great acts live.
I got to see Marshall. This is like he came to.
I saw Mac Miller live multiple times.
Oh, nice. He came to Philly like just before the Marshall Mathers LP came out. So he wasn't quite like the megastar.
The superstar,
he was going to become after that. Because some Shady LP did well, but
it
Marshall
wasn't,
Mathers LP was ridiculous. So this is like early May 2000, somewhere in there. He did a show at the Electric Factory. So Electric Factory in Philly, that venue is just like intimate. Like it's like you're like on top. It was so cool. I was literally like here to him. So it was a really cool thing, and he never did a venue like that ever again because he became like a major star.
I saw Marshall at MetLife with Rihanna.
Oh, the Monster Tour.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah. So I guess for me, and there's a fan.
It would have to be. It would have to be like a festival.
This is fantasy booking.
And even then, I'm probably still not going.
This would never happen. If there was a chance for me to see Michael Jackson, I am 1,000% in. Like if Michael's like, "Yo, I'm gonna be at this venue right now. We're going wild and maskless." I'm like, "Well, Mike, I guess for the rest of my life, I gotta go."
I'll give you something different. I'd probably go see a Dave Chappelle show.
Yeah. Okay. So,
I don't think I'd go to I probably wouldn't go to a concert.
Okay.
But like if they were like Dave Chappelle's performing at Parks Casino or whatever, I would strongly consider it.
I mean, I don't blame you. One of the greatest to ever do it.
But it wouldn't. I don't think I would do it for a concert, and I definitely wouldn't do it for Bow Wow.
So I had a great idea for concerts.
I don't even think I would go to a Sixers game.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't need to do that. No, that's not. That to me is not a once in a lifetime thing. I've been to millions of Sixers games. I don't need to do that.
But like I said, I'd probably Dave Chappelle's stand up might be the only thing that gets me out.
Okay. Here's what I would do for concerts, because we can't really have concerts right now the way we're accustomed to it. Here's what I would do if I was an artist. I would do this. I would say, listen, I'm going to do a concert on Zoom. It's going to be invite. It's going to be like an invite only type of atmosphere, super intimate, like no more than like 50 people in this concert. And I'm going to charge obviously way overpriced. I'm charging like $500 ticket. But what you get is like, say you're an artist like with a major catalog. Like you got joints.
Yeah.
So you can play all like say you're Garth Brooks, and you got joints on joints on joints on joints. Like you got 30 years of 30 years of slaps. So you could be literally like playing all these songs that people want to hear, plus your new album comes, and then on top of that, you can literally shout people out. Like, hey, Justin from Willow Grove, I see it. I hear your favorite song is blah, blah, blah. Let me play that for you right now. Like, how cool would that be?
Yeah.
So, like, it kind of like you get both sides of it. You get your concert, and it becomes more of an intimate vibe. You feel like you're in this with the person, and you can't. It's really hard to do those intimate type of settings in those large venues. So it would bring a whole new dimension to the concert. That's why, if I was a huge artist, that's what I would do. I would do these shows. It would be one of those things where it would be intimate, but at the same time accessible. So I would do like 3 or 4 a week. 3 or 4 a week for like about a month. And you make some good money on top of that, have a little fun, and the people get the concerts.
I mean, that is a good idea.
That's what I would do.
I definitely think that's a good idea to consider. I mean, what has replaced concerts a lot during this has been verses.
Yes.
To a different degree.
Actually, I have a question. Now, you just jogged me up a question I want to ask you about a versus potentially coming up.
Talk to me.
I'm confused about. The rumor is the next verse is going to be Travis Scott versus Future. I don't understand that in a little bit. Like, I'm a fan of both of them. Travis Scott, not as much as Future, but I feel like Travis Scott's too new to the game to have a versus. Like he literally just started making. Like his catalog's probably like 5 years old.
Well, here's the problem that I think with versus is that there's certain people, I shouldn't say certain artists, that have to be on it that will not come on.
Yes.
And unless you can get, like, you are now, in the beginning, you had a bunch of people, yes, I'll come on. Like, yeah, I'd love to do it. I love it. You're now in, like, the B category now of people to select from. I mean, let's be honest. The average person, the average fan doesn't care about Travis Scott versus Future.
I agree.
But
and the appeal of this was those artists that you've kind of like a Nelly versus Ludacris.
Yeah, exactly.
That was big because those guys were such huge impacts.
Actually, I want to address that specific battle real quick.
Okay, those guys had such huge impacts on the culture, but their catalogs are run deep.
Right.
Like they got slaps. And I think the cool thing about verses that I've liked is kind of reminded you, like Ludacris is an artist that I was just like, I listened to his verses and I was like, damn, I forgot Luda had this many bangers.
I think a lot of people did.
Like Luda, Luda's one of those artists that people kind of sleep on a little bit, but Luda, like, he destroyed Nelly in my opinion.
It wasn't even close.
And honestly, I think Nelly unplugged his Wi-Fi at some point. He's so embarrassed. But
so during it, there was at that time, St. Louis was had a massive hurricane going on. So, but I mean, when you have that much money, like you don't lose internet.
Well, I think Nelly lost the moment Luda showed up in the throwback Dominique. The throw out, the black Darth Vader mask.
Nelly was
the chains.
Nelly was so drunk during that he just decided he was going to play his favorite songs.
Yeah,
he was having a home concert for himself.
Yeah,
with everybody online. He just gave up at a point in time. Was like,
Luda blew him out in that one, but
it wasn't even close.
But like a lot, but that's my favorite thing about verses. It's kind of like reminiscing and going like, oh man, I forgot about this one. Oh, I forgot about that one. What am I going to forget about from Travis Scott? Like, the catalog's 5 years old.
Yeah,
like,
everything.
Like, if you play Sick, he's going to play Sicko Mode. He's going to be like, bro, this was just on the radio 2 years ago.
Like, everything that he has is still in my rotation.
Right.
I haven't forgotten about it because it's still in my rotation.
Right. He's going to play, like, Highest in the Room. Bro, that came out last year. Like, and you can, like, listen, these artists are still making, a lot of them are still making music actively, but they save that song to, like, the last song. He's going to have to play that like his first 5 because what else is he going to dig into? Unless, now I'm starting to think a little bit. I know he got his start through like Kanye, so I'm sure he helped with some of the productions in like the early 2010s that we don't know about. He could cheat. He could cheat and do that, but I don't. I mean, Future. I'm okay with Future because Future's like 2009ish. So he's like, he got a little bit of longevity. Like, he can go back to like those old Wayne records.
Though. Anything with Future,
that good cushion alcohol. He can go back to that.
Anything with Future is going to have Aubrey all over it, though.
Absolutely, but I'm okay with Jumpman and Rings and stuff like that because they feel older. So but I don't think Travis Scott makes sense at all in this. I think that's definitely a misstep, and they may be running out of people. Well, get Busta Rhymes in here. Get me Busta Rhymes. Get me that type of genre. That's what I need to hear from.
I would love to see. Let's see who'd be a nice ideal battle for you.
I want to see Outkast versus Tribe Called Quest.
Ooh,
that's what I need. That's what I need to have happen in my life.
It's a good one.
Because that would be a heavyweight fight. Because those two, like, I don't even know. I
got a heavyweight fight
or even
for you.
Like Outkast. I'm not a huge Wu-Tang person, but we do Outkast Wu-Tang too.
I got a heavyweight for you.
Okay.
East Coast, West Coast.
Okay.
I would like to see Busta go up against the Game.
That could happen. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. Does Games have enough slaps though? Because I like Game a lot, but
I mean,
Game has a very strong B-sides, but slaps. Because Busta can give you 20 slaps. Like Busta can go slap from '93 to now. Slap.
I mean, one of the songs that will become a staple on this show in a couple weeks for a segment.
Yeah.
He has that and that's the start. And I mean, you can even go earlier than that if you want to go into his less known discography.
But what you gonna do when Busta throws on Scenario?
I mean,
or how's it going to work?
But here's what the thing
when
is.
When he throws on past the Cavassier.
Listen, that's not my problem.
Right.
That's his problem.
Like,
but I mean, I want to see guys
touch it when he goes touch it on him.
I want to see people that have 5, 6, 7 studio albums.
I agree. Yeah, and that's my criteria. I need to see. You need to have a longevity for this to make sense.
Like, I think
Busta Eminem would be interesting.
Yeah, but M's one of the people who I don't think would ever go on it.
He actually said he wanted to go. The rumors early on that he wanted to go DMX, but DMX wanted to battle Snoop, which I never thought made sense. Snoop killed him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because their catalogs don't match up. DMX needed a more aggressive catalog. That's why DMX and Eminem kind of made a little bit of sense. But Busta Eminem that'd be something. That'd be something. I know Eminem would enter as a favorite, but I wouldn't sleep on Busta on that one.
See, here's the thing is Eminem doesn't have very many just
club bangers.
Yeah.
He's not a club banger guy.
He has a couple that he was a feature on.
Yeah, but M wasn't really played in the club like that.
No.
His music was too weird to be in
That's
the club.
why I would want to see somebody more like M go against Push.
I mean, I love me some Push, but M's way too big a star to go against Push.
Well, give me someone out of that mold.
M is in that Jay-Z, maybe M Nas. You could do M.
Yeah, but here's the thing:
Nas
is
nice.
Jay-Z is I'm not sure. The only person who could really compete against Jay-Z would be Drake.
I would agree.
Or maybe Lil Wayne.
And that Wayne, yeah. I would rather see Jay Wayne than
I would love to see a Drake versus Lil Wayne.
They kind of did this though on their tour.
Yeah, on their tour.
Yeah, they this kind of happened
because those two would both be open to doing that.
I agree. It's already kind of been thrown out there a little bit. I don't know how much legs it is to it, but it has been talked about.
Because those two would just do it in the studio. They'd be like, all right. They'd bring in 40 and be like, all right, here's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, here's what's happening.
You're DJing both of us.
Yeah, you get both of us. So here's something.
And Birdman would somehow not be able to get on the stream.
So I know you want to bring up something about driving, something that annoys you about driving.
Yeah. I had a little incident earlier.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say an incident, but an encounter.
Yeah. So this I'm gonna tell you what annoys me. DaBaby, okay, has announced that he will be retiring in 5 years. What? There is nothing that drives me more crazy than a rapper saying when they're going to retire. How successful has that ever been?
Never.
What rapper has ever actually? Here's how you retire.
Dude, Jay-Z retired in 2005.
Right.
And here we are.
Here we are. Here's how you retire from music.
10 albums later.
Do you know how you retire in music? You retire when the people say your music now sucks and we don't want to hear from you anymore. That's your retirement. When nobody cares. When people stop caring about your music, that's when you have 3 albums out that nobody knew you put out, that's when you're done. That's when you're done.
50 Cent.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He actually, I'm listening to his. He has an audio book he just put out. It's really, really, really good stuff. And he talks about how he knew he needed to shift gears. He was talking about how back in 2009 they put out that song "Crack a Bottle" with M.J. and him, and he was touring on it overseas and it was going pretty well. But he noticed when he came back to the United States, it just wasn't his music wasn't resonating with the people the same way. And it dawned on me, he's like, the reason why is because hip hop is about being damaged. It's like, I'm no longer damaged. I was the underdog. Now I'm the favorite. So they don't want to root for me anymore because I'm always winning. He's like, so that's when I realized I need to shift my priorities. I started going into the Interscope building and I'm no longer meeting with high executives, like the middle executives and low executives. I'm not seeing Jimmy anymore. They're not telling me we don't want to mess with you anymore, but they're telling me with their actions. So it's like, that's when I really decided I need to start diversifying. That's when I started really pursuing television and all things like that. And it's interesting with him because we know him as 50 Cent, rapper, Get Rich or Die Trying, mixtapes, all that stuff. But the generation after us now are probably going to know him from Power and For Life and all his TV projects he has coming out in the future. I always think it's cool when people can diversify like that. And him being self-aware enough to know that, I was that guy. I'm not that guy anymore. Things have changed. He even said, he's like, if I...
Vitamin water.
The greatest deal in the history of hip-hop. He talked about that deal, too, and how, he's kind of, basically the book is about, he's kind of giving business advice about how to be successful, things to do, how to move. I highly suggest out there anybody to listen to the book. It's a really good listen, or read it, whatever you want to do. It's a really good book though. So far, I'm really enjoying it. But yeah, so rappers retiring definitely makes me highly upset. But I want to get in your driver story before we go to break.
Okay, so when you're parking out front of your house,
yeah.
Okay, so here's what happened to me today. I'm driving down the street,
yeah,
and I always park on the street. You know, just boom, pull right on the street, park.
Yeah.
So I'm coming down the street, and my house is on the left side of the road.
Okay.
Okay. So I have to, obviously come over and then, to pull up against the curb.
Yeah. Right.
However, the street's wide open. There's no other cars.
Right.
You can park on both sides of the road, and you can still have cars come down and pass each other. The road's wide enough. Mm-hmm. So there's a car down. I'd say maybe like 50, 60 yards down the road. And it's a residential street, so you're not flying. You're only driving like 20, 25 miles an hour.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, I'm going to park real quick before this car comes up because I don't feel like waiting for this guy to pass me. I'm literally just parking on the street. So I come over, get my car. I put my car in park, put the window up, turn the car off. The other car is then passing me. I've already turned my car off. Honks the horn at me for pulling over in front of them to park out front of my own place. Now, I feel like the parking etiquette out front of your own place changes when it's your house versus in public.
I would agree.
Like, I'm going to park here, and you just have to deal with it.
Right.
It is what it is. Am I in the wrong?
Devil's advocate, how does he know it's your house?
I mean, that's fair. However, if he was real close to me, I would have just waited.
Right.
But he was down. I had enough time to park my car. I had enough time to put my car in park, put the window up, and turn the car off.
So let me ask you this question: when you were parked, he was now at the point where is he still on your tail when you're parked?
No, he was coming towards me.
Oh, he's coming towards you.
Yeah, so that's why I said I had to come over to but I saw that he was.
This was yards away.
Oh, like good 50, 60 yards.
You know what he is? He's one of those people, and I hate these people. The people that have a horn, so they feel like they need to use it. Like, the horn, to me, is only for emergency situations.
Like this is one of the times that you get honked at, and you're like, what?
Yeah,
like,
what's going on?
What did I do?
How did I inconvenience your life? Yeah, like, the horn, but there are those people that just love using their horn. Like, I like to use my horn for silly reasons. Like if someone says something dumb in my car, I'll blow the horn. Just because I think the horn just sounds ridiculous.
Right.
The only way I'm using the horn if it's an absolute emergency. Like, I need you to stop.
Yeah, like you're being an idiot.
Yeah. But other than that, no horn. No horn. And honestly, that wouldn't even require a look from me. I just kept on my horn. Like, sometimes you get people to look,
and you also got to remember this is early in the morning.
Yeah.
This is before 9 a.m.
Yo, do you ever do something? Yo, this is so uncomfortable when this happens. Do you ever do something on the road? Either you did it or another person did it, and you cussed them out or like that, give them the finger, and it's a red light, and you have to sit there uncomfortable next to them.
So I got a funny story.
You're just like, oh man.
So I don't think so, because if we're at a red light, I just would have kept giving it to him. Like, red light doesn't bother me. Like all that does is give me more time to get on you.
Yeah.
I got a funny story to tell you. So one time, I think I was still in college. So this was a while ago.
Yeah.
Me and my brother are driving to my aunt's house.
Okay.
We're helping her move some furniture around.
Yeah.
And we're driving to her house, and I'm driving. He's in the passenger seat, and we're on the Northeast Extension.
Okay.
Okay. We're driving, and this guy is in the left lane, doing I'm doing 45 miles an hour, and I'm behind him.
Okay.
In the left lane. So he's and there's the thing is there's not like construction or anything. He's just driving
super
slow.
In the wrong lane.
In the wrong lane. And I'm behind him for 20 something miles. Just because I can't get around because there's all these 18 wheelers in the other lane. So I'm just
you're just stuck.
So eventually I find a crack.
Yeah.
And I think this might have been the first time I ever did this. I rolled the window down, full finger extension.
Full finger extension?
Oh, full arm.
Arm out the window?
Out the window as I cut him off.
That's amazing.
So, and then I get in the passenger seat. And My brother was dying laughing, and I was like, it had to happen.
Full extent, yeah.
So,
that deserves a full extent. What are you doing that lane?
So,
Get out of there.
But now it's out of my mind.
Yeah.
I am completely forget.
Yeah.
Way down the road later, this dude flies up next to me. I look over. He double birds me.
Hit you with a double bird?
Through his window, though. Like, he didn't bother putting his window down. But here's the thing. I know I ruined his whole day.
Yeah.
Because as he did that, he hit the exit. So I knew he either A, missed his exit to come get me, or it was his last possible chance to get me. Here's the funnier part. This dude's screaming, but he's got his window up, giving double birds. My brother just looks at him and flips him one back, and we keep going. And I was like, yo, we ruined this guy's whole morning. Like, he's not going to be right till he wakes up tomorrow.
No, he might be still thinking about this right now.
Yeah.
He might still be upset about this.
But, yeah, that was great. Buried that guy.
I love it.
So, that was the first time where I was like, nah, I'm saying, like, T-shirt flapping in, like, the wind of the full extension.
Yeah. I like the people that, like, apologize to you after you blow the horn. Like, there was an incident.
Don't apologize. Just don't be stupid.
I was in New York. I'm driving around Manhattan, and this idiot is, first of all, he's double parked and he has his door open.
Oh, I think it might have been me.
I was like, what are you doing? So I see him walking out towards his car.
Oh,
it
definitely was me.
He's like tiptoeing. So I hit him with I had a Nissan Maxima at the time. So the Nissan Maxima had
What year was this?
This is a 98 Maxima, so this was 2004-ish.
Oh, yeah, no, it wasn't me.
Okay, yeah, it was like
if this was like 2014, I'd be like, oh, sorry. I have a similar story of me doing that in New York.
Yeah, so this guy he's double parked with his door open, so I can't get around. People looking at behind me. He's walking out, and Nissan Maximas at the time had the most irritating horn. It's just super annoying. I saw him. My eyes got wide. I grit my teeth. I gave him. You ever hit the horn so hard? You take your one hand and you put your other hand on top of it because you think it's gonna. It's basically like you're giving your horn CPR. I was like, and I'm looking at him as I'm doing this. My face is scrunched up, and he's walking towards his car. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, sorry, I'm sorry. Like with his hand, like just get in the car. Just get. I'm pointing with the bike. I think I've never been. Now I'm thinking about the back of this. That's probably the angriest I've ever been. That's just negligence. Like first of all, you're double parked. Okay, I have to go around you. But why is your door open? What are you doing?
One time I was in New York, and I was pulling up to the hotel, and I was just gonna like unload my bags. And then go park the car. You know, you can just give them, like, put them behind the counter, put them behind the desk. I gotta go park my car.
Right.
So I do. When I first pulled up outside of the hotel, no one was behind me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I knew I had to run fast. So I grabbed my bags, flew in, boom, I'm out. This guy's riding the horn for me to move. And I was like, these New Yorkers. So I literally just stood there and I was like, yo. And so I purposely started to walk slower. Like, you're going to honk me when I move over.
Right.
Then a New York cop comes up and is like, yo, move your car.
Oh, no.
And I was like, I didn't know what to do because I was like, okay. So I literally just stared at her and said, I'm unloading in the hotel. Relax.
To the cop?
Yeah. I was like, I didn't know what to do. So I was like, I'm unloading in the hotel. Relax. She's like, okay, we'll just make it quick.
And that was the end of it?
I mean, like, granted, I was already done. So after she said that, I got in my car and I drove away.
Right.
But I was just like, the hell came over me?
I was going to stand my ground here.
Yeah. I was just like, what's... And then I drove away and I'm just like, what did I just do back there?
What's that? What's came over me? All right, well, listen, we're going to go take a quick break. And when we come back, I know it's Wednesday, but we were off yesterday. So a special Tuesday with Twitty on Wednesday. And we will be back in a jiffy. Brad Emery in the morning. Marcus Bradham, Justin Emery, right back. Hi, I'm Marcus Brown. I'd like to talk to you about Uncle Mike's Ice Cream. Uncle Mike's Ice Cream was voted by Yelp, USA Today, the best ice cream in Warminster. 537 York Road. Go see them for scoops and sundaes over 30 different flavors. I personally am a banana split man myself. Love that sundae. Check them out and let them serve you happiness one scoop at a time.
Bradham and Emery in the morning, 10:30 Wednesday. Justin Emery, Marcus Bradham.
Yes, sir.
And we were off yesterday.
Correct.
And as you had mentioned, missed our Tuesdays with Twitty, how we usually do it. However, we have him on the line right now for a special Tuesdays with Twitty on Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
How you doing today, my friend? Thank you for jumping on.
What up, what up? You know, it's a delightful little Wednesday here in the U.S., and I got the champagne on ice.
Pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Pretty big deal today.
Great week to be off.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have the Don and Dole prepped to go when I get home.
Yes.
So I'm looking
You
forward
really
to that.
know what you're about when it comes to drinking. I'll tell you that.
I mean, hey, listen, we've got to be out here supporting the potential bill payers out here.
Exactly.
So,
Facts only.
you know, I'm a company man through and through. I'm always a team player until I'm not. But you got something for us this week. Last week was the Tupac one. Had a great amount of fanfare behind it. What have you got lined up for us on the conspiracy theories this week?
All right, so I wanted to bring something that touches on.
Wait, hold on a second. I need to put on my hat.
Oh,
tinfoil hat's
that's
on.
right, tinfoil. Get it wrapped. Get it ready.
The antennas are up. I'm ready.
So I wanted to bring something that interacts with how it seemed Marcus felt about time travel-y type stuff last week.
Oh yeah. I love this.
Definitely was a note I took.
Oh, I'm so excited where this is going.
Oh my gosh.
So in March 2003, a story was going around. It got picked up by first Yahoo News and then a variety of papers and web blogs and all kinds of other news services. And it's about a man named Andrew Carlson who was supposedly arrested for SEC violations. The story goes he made 126 high-risk stock trades in 2 weeks. Every single trade was successful. And from an $800 investment, he ended up with a portfolio reaching the hundreds of millions of dollars. This is in 14 days, and it kind of sounds like a personal dream of mine, just playing around on the Robinhood app.
I was going to say, I gotta reach out to my man. I talked to him about a couple things.
It also, to me, evokes the spirit of Back to the Future 2 when Biff comes back with the sports book and just starts betting on everything.
Also, kind of sounds like the guy from the Hot Tub Time Machine.
Oh, I remember that movie.
It's very very similar idea. I think
at you,
they're
great
all
reference.
homages to the Back to the Future classic.
Well, I mean, listen. Twitty's on the show. He's making some. I gotta have a movie reference in there. I gotta do something. I don't got very many of them, so I gotta pull them out when I can.
When you have one, you throw it out.
Oh,
and you're very
absolutely.
excited about it. So after Carlson was arrested, he claimed in court in a 4-hour confession video that he was a time traveler from 200 years in the future.
What?
He declined to reveal the location or technology of his time craft, but he did offer investigators things like the location of Osama bin Laden and the cure for AIDS in return for lesser punishment and to be allowed to return to his time craft.
What?
Did he go back?
The story ends with the man skipped bail after, for some reason, being granted bail, and then was never heard from again. However, this ends up being a lesson in always checking your sources, as the original publication that Yahoo News ripped the story from is a paper called Weekly World News, which to the naked eye appears like one of those crazy papers you see in the grocery checkout line that just go for it, except that this one is entirely satirical. And everyone picked up the story and broadcast it on as if it was word of God fact. And it really has taken over the internet to the point where people are still talking about it, entirely unaware that it was a completely fake story from the jump.
Now,
They got onioned.
what is the newspaper called?
Weekly World News.
See, that's something that I probably would see and believe.
It's so generic. I think that's the whole point.
I would have fallen for this. Damn it!
Oh, I fell for it years and years ago. Before
I fell
found
for
the
it when you were
article
talking
saying
about it
was
right
fake.
now. I just Googled it and I couldn't find anything.
Well,
I will say this. Although we know how I feel about time travel.
Do you think? Do you
But-
think his craft could have been in Cuba?
Maybe.
Tupac's watching over it for him.
There you go.
Well, plus with stories like this, you always have to factor in the little conspiracy nugget in the back of your head that's just like, well, if it was true, this is still what they would have said.
If you're telling me you're 200 years from the future, I'm not giving you bail.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what that judge was doing. I'm like, no, you're staying right here. We're gonna have a long conversation, mister.
Well, I have a question. Imagine if you were the one in there interrogating him, and he's like, I'm from 200 years in the future. And you're like, all right, I got to go talk to my commanding officer real quick because they didn't teach us this in the academy.
That's how I feel. I'm definitely getting...
I missed that day. I think I had the flu.
Yeah, sometimes you got to ask for help. I'm definitely getting higher direction. I'm like, sir, come over here quickly. So here's the situation. I'm definitely talking to someone about
absolutely I'd rather sound stupid asking the question.
Yeah, like, what do we do?
Dropping another movie reference here. It reminds me of when they're interrogating Will Smith in the first Men in Black, and he's like, he blinked 2 eyelids. And the cops are like, what do you mean he blinked 2 eyelids? He's like, he blinked one, and he blinked another set of eyelids. And the cops are like, okay.
This choice was heavily inspired by me finding I'm going to stress these air quotes as hard as I can for audio, documentary on Amazon Prime last night about a man who claims to be from 3036.
Stop it.
That one was far less convincing, though. It turned into a COVID hit piece real quick.
I was curious if it had stock market info, because I would have taken that.
It did not, other than that one of the final 3 corporations that owns everything will be Amazon. But I think we all could have guessed that.
I mean, listen, anyone like last year is the year to not believe in time travel at all, because no one in their right mind, if you're from the future, would ever travel to 2020.
Fact.
Well, there was a tweet I kept seeing throughout the last 4 years that I loved, and they were like, just the news anymore feels like time travelers keep coming back to fix something and messing up something else.
Right.
That explains why the murder hornets never turned into a thing.
I was about to say, one of my favorite storylines from 2020 that just was very easily glossed over was the murder hornets.
Yeah, they just bounced.
Like they were like a throwaway character in a movie. Like they're in like one scene and you never see them again.
Because murder hornets in any other year would have been a major deal, but all the craziness that took place last year, murder hornets is far down the list. Like it was one of the things I saw. I was like, oh, murder hornets. Okay, well,
the murder hornets were like, yo, they're not giving us enough credit, so we're just out. Like,
yeah,
if it gets me, it gets me. Yeah, the murder hornets, they just did not.
Well, didn't they only make it to like Washington State? And that was it.
That's the furthest U.S.
Like they were in Washington State. I was like, oh, well, that's already across. I don't need to worry about that.
And
like if they were like in like
people ain't throwing respect on our name, we're out of here.
Right. If they were like in West Orange, New Jersey, then I'd be like, bro,
that was a lot closer to me though at the time than it was to you.
Yeah, I mean,
Vegas at the time.
You could be upset. I hear you.
I mean, listen, they're not coming to Vegas. It's 130 degrees there. Like they're not coming there.
Right. And
I don't know much about hornets. I feel like that climate might be okay for them.
Hornets are very.
I mean, maybe
hornets are easy to evade though. Like they're not.
Like go inside and shut the door.
They're not like a fast moving creatures. Like they're very slow.
I've got a pretty intense fear of anything remotely stingy. So like that headline was a problem for me.
I had a buddy.
Big problem.
I had a buddy when I was a kid. He got stung by so many hornets. He's like now immune. Like he's immune to stings. Like he had to get thrown into like a bathtub to get them off them. First of all,
is he the guy who does those YouTube videos where he just gets stung by things now? That's the only explanation for that guy I can come up with.
I mean, I was like 10 years ago. I did landscaping briefly, and I was on a lawn, and I was doing aeration, which is when you perk the holes into the ground to get the seeds in. So I have my iPod in. I'm just in my zone, just not even. I'm on this huge lawn in New Jersey, just just not even paying attention. Just all of a sudden, I see like this slow swarm underneath my aerator. I couldn't recognize it, but then because I don't know much about hornets. I thought they were blue. I don't know. I thought they were blue with the logo of Charlotte Hornets. I don't know.
What?
I'm trying. It took me a second to think of the Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah.
I was like, why blue? Is he thinking of the Green Hornets?
I had no idea. I don't know. Like I'm at the end of the day, I'm a kid from the city. I have no idea. So they come swarming out, but I just knew it was bad. I abandoned my area and just ran full speed.
Yeah. You give up on that.
I just ran and I called my boss. I was like, yo, there are these things that came from the ground. I don't know what they are, but they look like they're trying to kill me. So I'm out. I'm out. I'm leaving my area here. And he's like, those are hornets. I was like, hornets?
Yeah, I'm out.
That sounds like every time I've seen a bee in my entire life, because my dad is like very allergic, and my sister and I have made it through 63 years collectively now with no stings. So it just gets scarier every year.
Yeah.
Definitely. What you got coming out on Twitty and the Brand this week?
We are still enjoying our off time.
Still on hiatus. What's the return date?
We'll be back in, I want to say, 2 weeks.
Nice.
And I believe this isn't set in stone yet, but I think we're going to transition to Friday releases. Just gives me more time.
I got 2 documentaries for you guys.
Oh,
ooh, I'm gonna do it. What do you got?
So Netflix, if you haven't seen it, Fear City. It's the story of basically the 1970s and 80s New York Mafia and the FBI and how they finally took them down. It's the beginning. Yeah, it's the beginning of like the RICO charges and conspiracy, how they were going after these mob bosses and stuff. It's kind of the story how that all came together, how they bugged all these cars, and it's all like the famous families of like the mob, like the Gambino family, like all of these huge families that when the mob was the mob, and it's like pretty much the last heyday of that time, like John Gotti and stuff like that. And they actually have a couple of like the lower mobsters who were part of that time. So they're telling their story, and then you have the FBI agents telling how they eventually caught them.
Is Crazy Rudy in it?
Rudy Giuliani's in it, yes.
Crazy Rudy.
Good knowledge by you. Yeah,
Does
Rudy.
His
yeah,
hair cry at any point in that?
That's his claim to fame. That's the only thing he's done right in his life was he was integral part. Like he basically established the RICO laws.
Yeah,
like he was the guy that did that.
People like to tout his 9/11 response.
No, stop it.
What
stop
does
it.
any control freak look for but an opportunity to seize control?
You look at him as a mayor from 94 to 2001. The things that he did. The only reason why people even forgave him for that stuff was because 9/11. All he did really was sit at Yankee games and wear a FDNY hat. Didn't really do anything.
Well, that's what we needed at the time, Mark.
Yeah, he stood and clapped and wore a hat. That's all he really did. But no, it's a really good watch. And another one, I'm actually watching this with my daughter because this is very on point with this generation. It's called Social Dilemma.
I've been avoiding that one because I'm worried it's going to leave me with some truths I'm not ready to feel. No, you're like, it's one of those things where you watch it and you can't be the same after watching it. I'm only halfway through. Hopefully we'll finish it today.
I would like to test that theory.
Yeah, it's gonna. Well, you're a weirdo. I don't know if it's gonna change anything in your life. You're just gonna say, I'm gonna take a nap.
But what is? I'll probably get halfway through and I'll be like, yeah, I'm over this.
No, it's definitely some eye-opening stuff, and it's some stuff you probably already know, but it's one of those things sometimes when you put all the information together, it changes your opinion of things. And, like, it is, I mean, social media is an issue. And it's something that, like, we do have to address because there's really no policing and how it's really changed our society. And, like, it's I don't know. It's one of those things definitely I highly recommend checking out.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to watch that one, and I'm really going to sit in that truth afterwards.
Yeah.
But then I'm going to immediately be like, I haven't pulled a lot of memes from Facebook yet today. And boom.
Well, you know what I actually discovered what I do is this is you guys might be able to relate to this. I don't know, but like I'll be watching something on television, right? And like I'll go to my phone because I'm not as entertained by this. So I go to my phone to find something more entertaining. Then I go, and I'm on my phone, I find some more entertaining. I pause something that was supposed to be entertaining me in the first place to go to this more entertaining thing now.
Absolutely.
That's insane. That's not okay.
There's a joke among like office workers where they're just like, man, I'm so tired from staring at the medium screen all day. I can't wait to go home and look at the big screen while I flick through the small screen.
Right. But if you break it down like that, it's absolute insanity that we have now become society. Like, you look at, like, let's talk baseball for a second. I used to be a huge baseball person. I no longer have the attention span to sit through a 9-inning game.
Oh, absolutely
and the reason why is directly I blame the phone for that reason. I don't have the patience for it anymore. It's not baseball hasn't changed, it's we've changed. Our attention spans have gotten so bad we can't sit through that anymore. Which is sad.
You know what would be perfect is if baseball would just do this thing where, like, when the pitch is about to be thrown, it played a loud tone so I know to look up from my phone. That might make it, like, the perfect phone viewing.
Right. There you go. Like a nice air horn. But yeah, it's I definitely recommend checking out. Both of them are really good. I finished Fear City the other day, and it's like I think it's about 4 or 5 episodes, but it's really good stuff because it's like you're learning about the early bugging of things and bugging these restaurants. They bugged their cars, they bugged their house, and then again the establishing of the RICO and conspiracy laws to take down actually the crime boss, and instead of not getting like the underlings and people that don't matter.
Right. So it's the plot of The Dark Knight is what you're saying.
Sort of, yeah. It's Gotham City.
Much, yeah.
I mean, Rudy Giuliani does play Lance Commissioner Gordon. that actually does work.
One other note about that Man from 3036 doc. It's such nonsense, but it has insane entertainment value.
Okay.
And here's one reason why. In the beginning, the guy talks about how we're all idiots for how much we use cell phones and that they're going to get banned in 30 years because of radiation. And he's like, yeah, there's just so much radiation everywhere and my immune system's compromised. And then at one point they ask him to get an x-ray because he has some chip in his hand. Yeah. He's like, yeah, that's cool.
That makes sense.
At that point, I just decided I'm going to watch this whole thing purely for the comedic value.
So you're basically telling me it's like the Joe Exotic of time travel.
Basically.
By the way, how big sad is Joe Exotic today?
Dude, his dude it's the worst, especially because he has some social media access in prison.
Yeah.
So it was just him super sad on Instagram all night last night, waiting until midnight because that's when it was officially wasn't getting one.
I don't know who tweeted this out, but it gave me a good laugh this morning. Like someone says, Joe Exotic in the cell right now is who the hell is Kodak Black? Like this man had a limo outside. He was ready.
Kodak Black, who I'm pretty sure is about $1 million lighter after that pardon, but such is life.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well, another great conspiracy theory. Now I'm going to be thinking about time travel for the rest of the day. Thank you, I appreciate that. I want to be on the Don Julio later, just looking up time travel stories. Wait until I come in here with a whole list of stuff for tomorrow, Marcus.
Oh my gosh. Stop it.
If only that means I could get you to watch 12 Monkeys. I've been trying to get everyone to watch that show for 4 years now.
Well, listen, hey, better luck next week. Let everybody know where to follow you at.
Make sure to check me out on Instagram and Twitter at Ultron1321. And you can keep an eye on the show on IG at Twitty and the Brand, on Twitter at Twitty and Brand.
Love it. As always, great segment. We'll talk to you next week. Appreciate
you
jumping on Tuesdays with Twitty on Wednesday.
Not a problem. I am going to go get ready to crack this champagne, frankly.
Sounds good. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, boys.
See ya.
All right.
Twitty, as always.
Twitty getting wild as usual. So I know we only have 10 minutes left. So I'm going to talk a little bit about one thing, and then I'm going to lead into another for tomorrow. Kyrie Irving's press conference yesterday.
Oh, I didn't see it.
So I am still where I am last week. I am highly concerned about him as a person.
Okay.
First of all, so they're doing all press conferences through Zoom. So they come in on him, and I lie to you not, he looked like a child who's just suffered trauma, where he has his arms folded in front of him, and he's laying down with his chin on his arms like a child. And this is how he did the entire press conference from this angle, which is weird. Let's start with that being weird.
Okay.
Like that's not like you are a professional athlete worth millions of dollars. You're not getting ready for circle time in kindergarten. Like you should not be laying down with your hands on like that's so unprofessional.
I don't think he cares.
No, I beg to differ. I don't think it's a thing about caring. I think there's something a little off with him.
Well, there's definitely something a little off with him.
I think that's where it is. And I actually I'm gonna pull this up. I'm gonna get the reporter to make sure I have his name right. Christian Whitfield of the New York Daily News asked a question about Kyrie's physical and mental well-being. He answered the question. So Christian Whitfield says to him, "Hey Kyrie, first of all, welcome back, and I just want to know, how are you doing physically and mentally? with everything that's been going on with you. You've been gone for a while. Are you okay? He answered the question like this, laying down on his chin, and he just nodded his head, just up and down. Didn't use words, just nodded his head up and down.
Like I said, I personally just think he doesn't care.
I mean, I like this. It was just a bizarre. Like he didn't really answer much about.
I just keep going back to this. We have to preface it by saying this is the same person who honestly believes to this day that the Earth is flat.
I get all that.
Like you have to always put that into consideration when dealing with him. I mean, like he's come out and like he just says wild stuff. Like he says stuff that like you expect. Like
breaking news: the Obamas are on the scene.
He says stuff that you're just like, is this dude a crackhead?
Right. No, but that to me now, that stuff was like funny, and like that stuff was like entertaining before all. It's kind of like how I feel about Social Dilemma. Some of these things I knew already going into this, but when it's put all together in front of you, it just has a different impact.
Right.
And now that all of this has been laid out, every aspect has been laid out in front of me, I now look at him as a completely different being than I did before this past week. And like the press conference didn't make me feel any better. And if I'm Marques, the owner of the Nets, I don't feel better at all about anything because they basically said to him, they're like, listen, we're not going to handle this for you. You need to talk to the people. You need to tell them what's going on. If I'm watching this and I'm investing millions of dollars into this athlete and I'm watching this press conference, I'm calling him in the office and being like,
what are you doing?
Listen, we need to have a conversation right now about your future and what it looks like in this organization. If this is what you're going to be, we need to have a conversation about your contract because this is not a good representation of our organization or you.
I mean, you're now the favorite in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, granted, it was much closer than it should have been, but you really bullied the Bucks that whole game.
Yes,
even without Kyrie.
Right, and I bet Sixers fans out there right now thinking a little bit differently about the James Harden situation.
I don't though.
32-14.
It doesn't matter.
32-14.
I get it, but it doesn't matter. Like,
and now knowing
you're reacting after a week. Come talk to me about this again in April.
No, I wanted him here. I'm not talking about with them. I still don't think it's going to work there. I'm talking about here. Now,
but I don't think it would have worked here either.
Here's the thing. Now knowing this, that it was being reported that the Wednesday before the trade went down, so last Wednesday, the deal on the table was Simmons and Thibault and picks.
I would have done that.
It was such – well, listen to this. This is crazy. I don't know if you know this, but it's being reported that was a done deal. Done deal to the point so much where Ben's agent was called and Thibault's agent was called. They called them and said, hey, expect to be traded tomorrow. And the Rockets never called them back. So it's a really weird. Well, I believe the Rockets were playing. Yeah. They never want to trade him in the first place.
Yeah, not to Philly. They didn't
want to trade him to Philly. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Daryl Morey. They didn't. They wanted to.
They didn't want to trade him to Philly in the first place. But Ben and Thibault, I would have done that in a heartbeat.
Right, I would have as well.
Yeah, the Maxey thing was why I drew the line. But who knows if that was really the thing?
Yeah.
But
that's where I drew the line as well.
Right. I want to tease something for tomorrow.
And before we get out of here, I got to ask you a question too.
I'll have an answer.
Okay. Well, did you want to tease your?
All right, we'll tease for tomorrow first. Okay, so we didn't talk any Eagles today because we really didn't have any. I'm sorry, Philadelphia football team.
Okay.
We didn't talk anything about the football team today because we really didn't have much time.
Right.
Tomorrow though,
we'll have a lot of football
deep
talk.
Dive. We're gonna open the show with this question: will Carson speak in this offseason? Will we hear from him? And if we do, how does he address this and clean this up? I want to talk about Josh McDaniels a little bit because he seems to be the front runner right now. So I want to talk. I want to get into him.
Heavy Eagles talk tomorrow.
But I definitely want to talk about Carson because we didn't really do this on Monday. I want tomorrow to be more from Carson's perspective.
Okay.
Like how does he address all of this? And how does he move forward if he does it all with his team? So that will be tomorrow. So you have a question.
Yeah. How long would you wait to get something delivered?
What
Like you ordered
food?
No, like you ordered something. You ordered something online.
I mean, I'm at the mercy at that point. Let me ask you this. Are you asking me how long will I wait till I complain? Or how long will I wait, what do you mean, not do anything?
So, like, I ordered something on Black Friday that just got delivered yesterday.
I can one-up you here.
Did you order something that hasn't come yet?
No, it came, but
okay.
I ordered something. I saw this online. You know those little, you go on IG or whatever like that, and they have those little promo videos?
Right, yeah.
It was a cup that is a cup, and the straw is attached to the cup, but it's see-through.
Okay.
So you can drink out of it, but you can see the drink. It's cool. I ordered for Amber, it's part of her gift for Mother's Day. That sumbitch didn't show up till October. It became a running joke that Ness would be like, "Hey, the cup come yet?" And we just start laughing. Finally, it showed up. I didn't even know what it was anymore. I was like, "It's the cup."
It just showed up one day.
It just showed up one day.
That's
so yeah. I mean, and I actually by the second, third week of June, I was writing emails.
Oh, okay.
And then by late
you get to a certain
July,
point, you just give up.
Late July, I just gave up. Well, that's $15 I'm never going to see again.
Quick 20-second story before we get out of here.
Okay.
Years ago, I bought a whole bunch of knockoff jerseys from China. I bought 25 jerseys for $300. I was killing it.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And I had just been vacationing in San Diego. Maybe a couple weeks prior to that. So I remember logging in. One day I log into my credit card, and I have all these charges that I didn't do back from San Diego. It was an $800 grocery charge bill and all this crazy stuff.
Right.
So I was like, I'll get it taken off. So I call the credit card company.
Yeah.
She's like, we just got to run through the list of charges. Did you do this? No. Did you do this? No. Did you do this? No. Did you do this? She goes, you have a charge for something like Beijing, blah, blah, for $290 something. I was like, yeah, that charge is real. So she's like, the grocery bill is not real, but this charge to China is. And I was like,
I want to talk about it.
Yeah. But I mean, it got cleared up, but I was just like, yeah, it's a real charge from China. There's one at the gas station that's fake, though. I can promise you that.
I'm still waiting for a pair of Jordan 8 playoff editions from Singapore.
Hey, man. Hey.
It's never going to happen.
That's not coming.
That's $120 I'm never going to see again.
And also, legend in the sports radio world celebrated the 31-year anniversary today.
Yes.
Angelo Cataldi, 31 years on the morning show.
Congratulations. Continued dominance.
Yes.
So we're going to go ahead and get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Abbreviated show, like I said, for special reasons, as I'm sure you guys know out there. You can follow me at Marques B. Tweet across all platforms.
At Justin Emery Show everywhere.
Brad and Memory Pod at everywhere. And until next time, you can be with us, you can be against us, but you're never going to stop us late.